All right, Scorp. So this week from Le Vampire, you pulled Enlightenment, Inspiration, Epiphany, and Innovation. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled Abundance. Now, Enlightenment is really talking about how there will be a shift in your thinking and like breakthroughs in regards to difficult situations. It is asking you to listen to your inner guidance to find answers to difficult situations and getting that like stroke of inspiration. And when you look at that with abundance, it's talking about the conversation that you have with money. And when you're looking at this card, it's looking at the two different aspects, right? You have the foolhardy man and then the wise girl. And it's asking you, what choices do you make in regards to money? Is it good or bad? It is about being good with money. But then also, part of the inspiration does talk about being wary of using your financial situation as an excuse to avoid doing something or not doing something because you feel like you don't have enough money. So when you're looking at the two of them, for me, it's like getting a breakthrough in the way that you're thinking about situations and how it relates to the amount of money that you have to put into something. But abundance is a beautiful card, but it is talking about the choices that you make. But enlightenment is good to see with that. So if you've had financial difficulties, basically you're going to have a breakthrough in regards to that. All right, Scorp. Here we go. Here's the energy coming through. I feel like that's you. Now, for some of you, yeah, you could definitely be dealing with an air sign, but I just kind of get the feeling right off the bat that for a lot of you, especially with enlightenment, you're thinking more logically now through difficult situations, which is good to see. But, again, for some of you, you may be dealing with a person. This could be an air sign, right? Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. Oh, and in the past, the Five of Wands. Here's the thing. When you're looking at, and this is just based off of abundance, inspiration, the Three of Pentacles, and what you have here. When you're looking at doing something new, right? A lot of times I see the Five of Wands showing up as suggesting that maybe what you're doing, a lot of other people are doing as well. But this card is a reminder that if you are dealing with competition, it's saying that your creative ideas have value. It's going to be up to you to step up here to make your ideas heard or your voice heard. The other thing is if you are dealing with a person, this could be like the bickering, the petty bickering, the arguing, right? It's a little bit different than like the Five of Swords. That's like, that to me is just all bullshit. Any time where you try to get one up on somebody else, to me is just nonsense. But when you're looking at the Five of Wands, it's just like, the battle between opinions and creative ideas and things like that, and people just not, working well together. But again, the feeling of competition. Oh, wow. Okay. So in the present, the Seven of Pentacles. Here's the thing. For me, when I'm looking at the Seven of Pentacles, I'm looking at somebody who is seeing the initial results of the efforts that they put through. And the reevaluation happens because you're looking at it going, am I seeing what I want to see here through the efforts that I put through? Or do I need to start changing the way that I do things? It is asking you, is it time to continue doing the same way, doing things the same way that you have, or is it time to take a risk, basically, and change up the way that you're doing things? But you're looking at what you have worked toward and the results that it has produced. And it's like there's that question there, right? What do I do now? How do I continue this growth? And, again, and I keep going back to that Three of Pentacles and then looking at abundance. If you're starting something and you're dealing with, some crap going on around it, it's like you get to a point here where it's like, do I continue this or do I not? Or are you just going to start something new completely? Oh, future conditions. So now here's the thing. When it comes to the King of Pentacles, especially with what I'm looking at here, for a lot of you, I feel like this is the energy that is surrounding you. Now, for some of you, again, when I see kings and queens, I'm thinking people, right? So for some of you, this may be, the King of Pentacles being future conditions could be somebody coming through that may be giving you some financial advice or some practical advice on what it is that you're working toward here with the Seven of Pentacles. I've always said, when an earth sign shows up in other readings, they are fantastic people to get advice from. Now, the other part of this too, though, is, this is where you get to a point here where you become very successful in what you're doing. That competition or whatever you've dealt with in the past here with the Five of Wands is the catalyst for the changes that you're making here with the Seven of Pentacles. But the decisions that you make is bringing you to a point here where there is success. And again, I look at the Queen of Swords as somebody who's dealt with difficulties in the past, right? But being clear, being mentally clear, and being practical. And that's always good for Scorp to do when it comes to business matters. It's one of the few areas that I think where Scorpio is so determined that, yeah, emotions play a part in it, but not such an important role that, it's going to create any discord basically in what it is that you're trying to work for you, right? Obviously, you're going to do something because you have an emotional attachment to it. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist for Scorpio. End of story, right? But when it comes to what you're doing, it does hold importance, apparently. But where you come out at is really good. And again, if these are people surrounding you, I'm not, for some of you, it may be a person that's trying to block you creatively, possibly. But as far as the King of Pentacles goes, I'm not seeing that as a totally bad thing in terms of a person, or the Queen of Swords for that matter. But it is possible. Oh, your best path to follow, the world. Here's the thing. When you're talking about success and you're seeing the world as your best path to follow, it's telling you that you are going to feel successful. Absolutely. The world is being the end of the majors is really talking about, these major completions that are happening in new beginnings. But there is a feeling of accomplishment and success, right? Feeling like you're on top of the world. Sorry, guys. I got to shut off my phone here. People want to talk to me, and I don't know why. Okay, so basically, there is going to be something that's going to be completing itself very successfully for you. But, the world is saying here that, if it's time to change some things up here with the Seven of Pentacles, there's going to be a brand new beginning here involving what you're working toward, because I'm seeing the green, right? And I'm looking at earthly possessions. I'm not seeing anything that is suggesting emotional difficulties. It's just that your focus for the week is going to be, what you're doing as far as what you're working toward in your security and stability. What is going on in the physical rather than emotional. But, the world going back into the Fool is beautiful energy. And it's good. There's a good feeling here. Whatever it is that you complete, it's going to happen successfully for you because you're being smart about it and you're being practical. Oh, yeah. Wow. The Ace of Swords. So here's the thing. When I was talking about, with the Five of Wands needing to step up here, and you're looking at the Ace of Swords, yeah, absolutely. And you're doing it in a very truthful way. Now, when you're looking at the Ace of Swords in your environment, too, connected to the Seven of Pentacles, it's there is, the enlightenment, the mental breakthrough, new, fresh ideas. It's truth. There is clarity. There is truth. Mentally, you are in a beautiful spot. And I don't think that whatever happened in the past is going to affect you to the point where you may give up on something. Because the other thing with the Seven of Pentacles, and this is when you're looking at it in the reverse, a lot of times it's talking about, wanting to give up on projects. But I'm not seeing that here, especially with the Ace of Swords there. It's good. It's good. It's really good. And mentally, you're in a fantastic spot. And there it is. your hopes and your fears. And that definitely could be the case for some of you. This may be a situation here where you may be looking at a job or a project with the Seven of Pentacles and going, am I seeing what I want to see here? And then when you look at the King of Pentacles, it's like there's a wisdom there and an understanding that you're wanting something more, right? Like you are wanting to be successful. You're wanting something sustainable. So here's the thing. When you're looking at the world, it could be a situation where you're going to complete this. But then looking at the Three of Pentacles is talking about you starting something new. And then the other thing too is if you do have people involved, when you're looking at the Five of Wands and the Three of Pentacles, it's like hoping to get to a spot here where, things and people more specifically start working, toward that common goal, right? Especially if you're in like a business partnership, it looks good. It looks good. In the past, there may have been some difficulties, but things start to change here. But again, there's a feeling there too, though, where, you have that mental breakthrough and that clarity and understanding what abundance means to you. Because you're reevaluating things, you're getting to the point here in future conditions where you look really good. Successfully, you look really good. The world is saying that if you complete some things, it's going to happen successfully for you. You have mental clarity. And if you are starting something new, the Three of Pentacles is great energy to see. Oh, and then the outcome. Scorp, what the? The Five of Cups. Okay, now, I'm looking at the situation here. And, There's a couple of different things. When you're looking at the King of Pentacles connected to the Five of Cups, this could definitely talk about a person who is, feeling insecure, not feeling secure, not feeling successful. But with the World sitting next to that, it's a different story, especially with this being your best path to follow and what Spirit's advice is to you. It's like a reminder here that, if you decide to end something, it's going to be okay. It's going to be successful. And as long as your focus in your hopes and fears is on the positive of the Three of Pentacles and being able to, start these new projects or a new job, things are going to be good. It's just, when you're seeing the Five of Cups as the outcome, it's talking about like feeling like you're receiving less than what you deserve. That is a part of it other than the emotional depression. But I kind of get the feeling here that if you're not paying attention to that inner voice because of whatever blocks are going on here, and you choose to continue this rather than completing it out and starting something new, it's like you're going to end up feeling blah, like really bad. And for some of you, it could be missed opportunities. The Nine of Swords and the Four of Pentacles here. And this is what I was talking about. So here's the thing. When you're looking at what's going on here, first of all, you have the emotional and the mental backing. When it comes to thinking really bad, feeling really bad, as far as hanging on to the idea that you have to stay with something that is not, giving you the results you want to see. Because that's the thing for me when the Seven of Pentacles shows up. It's like you're not seeing what you want, but yet some of you may stay with this even though it makes you feel like shit. You hang on to it because with the Four of Pentacles, when I'm looking at this, first of all, you're hanging on too tightly to something. And again, it may be a situation here where you're doing work and not really, receiving enough for the effort that you're putting through either. But for some reason, it's like, I think it may be hard for you to walk away from. But I'm hopeful here with the Queen of Swords and looking at the Ace of Swords. It's like, really getting that breakthrough. It's just, I think some of you may stop yourself because of this energy coming through. It almost feels like, if I do this, you know, things may be difficult, you know what I mean? Like, it's looking at the Three of Pentacles, looking at the Five of Cups, and then the Four of Pentacles. For some of you, it may be a situation here where you've put a lot of time and effort into something and you're looking to change it now. But what happens is when you do start something new, it almost seems like financially it's not going to be as beneficial as what you were doing before, which is one of the things. But the other thing here, though, too, is if you continue to create these blocks, it may just be a situation where you're not really realizing this hope here because you're staying with something else that, isn't really making you happy, But, and with the King of Pentacles and looking at that in connection to the Five of Cups, again, it's, there's wisdom there when it comes to, success, and there is the mental breakthrough, but I think something else external is like stopping you from realizing it fully, basically. So, Scorpio, it's like, it's almost like you're killing it before it even starts. Because again, with the Three of Pentacles being where it's at, it's not fully realized. It has the potential to manifest depending on the focus that you put on it. But a lot of you may be just blocking yourself. All right, Scorp, we're going to take a look at the soul trees to see what else is going on. I like the energy of the King of Pentacles, but the other thing too is, if you're receiving some really good advice, and that, it's the truth for you, if you don't start acting on it, I think you're just going to stay stuck with a situation that, is like just barely getting you by, but I don't think is what you truly want to be doing, basically. The throat chakra. So, when it comes to seeing the truth and speaking the truth, that doesn't seem to be an issue. Celebration is good to see. It's saying that there's going to be a reason to celebrate. Now, for a lot of you, again, looking at the world and then feeling the energy going back into the Fool, for a lot of you, this may be a difficult thing to do, especially when you're talking about taking risks with the Seven of Pentacles, right? It may be risky for you to end something and then start something new. But I'm telling you, if you continue to stay with what you're doing because you have to and not because it's making you happy, it's just going to continue to block you from starting anything else new. And this seems to be consistent with most of the readings that I've done so far. It's like there's that constant reminder that you're only in the meat suit for a short amount of time. Damn it, you need to experience things. There's always going to be a way through difficult situations, and it's good to see enlightenment in the Ace of Swords, and then there being clarity, you being able to speak your truth, right? So hopefully for some of you, you kind of get that breakthrough and you leave situations that are not fulfilling you and start working toward the projects or jobs or things like that you actually want to do. Wow, this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. Nice, nice. So for those of you who are single, you may have met the one for you, which is good to see. And then calling in your soulmate, your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Here's the thing. When you're looking at that in terms of couples, this to me is saying that this is a very happy relationship and you potentially are already with your soulmate. And maybe you're calling them in now to kind of help you do some healing, and not like get so caught up in what is going on in the physical that you push the relationship aside. They look good, Scorp. It looks good. It's just, I think you've got other things that are going on here that may be causing some difficulties, right? And it has to do with what you're doing. But, overall, the big time feeling for me with the outcome is if you continue to stay with, what may be providing security and happiness for you, or security and financial stability is great and all, but, it's not really what is making you happy. Let me start over here because I'm like, I'm hearing so many different things. Here's the thing. With the Seven of Pentacles, I do think that a lot of you are doing something just because you have to, not because it's making you happy. And if you continue to do that, and mentally block yourself from doing something new, you're just going to continue to feel like you're receiving less than what you deserve.